now. Build something from the ground up. Yeah, we like to clown, talk about some real stuff. Yeah, something profound. It's a pleasure that you're hearing us. Wouldn't mess around. It's a topic of discussion worth talking. That we bust and put a nail in the coffin. If you love it, then you love it. If you don't mean nothing. Still bring it to the public. Y'all don't feed the animals. Put them in a cage. They couldn't handle truth. We gonna bust out the gate like some cannibals. Same face, same channel, messing with the tune. A bunch of idiots stuck in one room. Can't take us serious. You love what we feeding you. I'm with the show. Yeah, proceed with the interview. Local celebrity snatch a toy from your cereal. Don't feed the animals.
Welcome back, you sexy sons of bitches, you, to another beautiful episode of Don't Feed the Animals podcast. I'm your host, as always, James, and with me is my big, sexy brother from another mother, Berto.
I think choosing mother is very topical for today.
Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Guys, this episode is a long-awaited story time episode. This is one where we kind of go deep into our past to further understand our future.
And since it's May, that means it's Mother's Day month. So let's talk about some mothers.
Oh, we're gonna talk about some mothers, all right. Anyways, like I said, welcome back, peoples. If you listened to the last podcast, I was telling everybody that we had a little special story time episode, and yeah, that's where we're going with it. We're gonna go the story route. We're gonna talk about how Berto had his own, Milfy friend at some point at the young age of what, 18?
18, yep.
18. What year was it? Do you remember? We have to bring you back, guys. We have to let you understand things. We're gonna have to mold this journey and let everybody understand where it all came from and what it all means. For those who don't know what the term MILF is, the actual definition is an acronym for Mother I'd Like to
Fornicate.
Yep. Thank you. I didn't want. Oh, there you go. I was trying not to get demonetized right away, but it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
Can you get demonetized from podcast?
No.
Oh, I was like, am I missing something?
I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit. I'm like, have you not been on all these other episodes where we say
wait, have I been messing up this whole time?
Where we've been coining the words buddy putty and all that stuff.
Cum gutters.
So yeah, this is something that happened back in the day, and it's a story that I love to tell people to, like, it's your story, but I have to tell
we're
it
all
sometimes.
involved.
But we're involved. I'm kind of involved.
Yeah, you're pretty involved.
I'm a part of it.
It's part of your fault.
Yeah, it is kind of my fault. All right, so
you are involved in parties whose indirect fault it was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but not sorry.
No, it's fine. It is what it is.
Hey, listen, why do we all go through things in life? It's just to have really good stories to tell at bars and shit.
And to learn.
Oh, yeah, and to learn, I guess. But, so, I mean, you guys have to understand, I gotta paint a picture. It was, what, you said 2003?
2002.
2002. 2002.
Fresh off the heels of being 18.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, this is the time where, like, the late 90s and, like, early 2000s was, like, MILF Central. Like, that word was...
The media...
I mean, don't get me wrong. MILFs have been around for a long time. I mean, you got movies like The Graduate, with Mrs. Robinson. Are you trying to seduce me? Everybody was into, like, old women at some point. There was a thing. There was hot old women.
It's always been hot older women.
There has always been hot older women. What is the allure of a hot older woman? It's always It's always the experience, the freeness of knowing who they are.
And knowing that they know what they want.
Exactly. The experience of an older woman is such an attractive thing to younger chaps. So it's easy to get caught up, and it's kind of like, when you're with a MILF, it's like, I mean, some guys go for that shit, but when you're a younger chap like yourself,
it's always a general alluring aspect. Like,
yeah.
It's like I don't want to say a challenge. No, I'm not trying to say women are a challenge or women are...
women in general are a challenge, but sure.
Yes. Human race in general is a challenge, but...
Yeah, we're all humanly challenged.
I'm just saying, like, they're not a prize to be possessed over, but, in a sense, like, it's like a PlayStation achievement. You unlock it and you're like, yeah. You're like, oh shit, you got the MILF badge?
Wow, good job.
Yeah, this is 2002. I hadn't graduated yet.
I mean, 1 year later, Stacy's Mom song came out. That was another.
Stacy's Mom, American Pie.
Yeah, American Pie.
The phrase the most popular.
Yeah, American Pie was the one that pretty much.
That's the one that really planted the MILF seed in my brain.
Hell yeah! I mean, it. So around this time, we were like, that's what Berto and I would like talk about.
And most of the time, it would just be a fooling around, fucking around kind of guy.
Yeah, anytime we saw an older lady who looked like they had children, and it didn't have to be the prerequisite, but, usually it was.
It definitely has to fall into that category. You have to be a mother.
Yeah. I mean, you can't...
you didn't have to keep the baby, but,
you could have one once, Yeah. But, so we're going to tell this story in an interesting way. We're going to leave names anonymous. We're going to try not to put anybody on blast, but... to keep people from getting hurt. No one's gonna get hurt. It is what it is. It's not even that deep of a story, but we have to start somewhere, and we'll start. You said we said 2002.
2002. Yeah.
So 2002, painting the picture. What are you? 18.
18.
He's 18, still in high school. That's your senior year.
So what it was supposed to be. So 2002. Like late 2002, like almost towards the end of the year. So
I'm only a year or two younger than you, right?
Yeah, I was born in June, so this had to be probably around the last quarter of the year, October.
I know I was a sophomore in high school, so I'm a sophomore in high school, and Berto is a senior or a junior going on a senior.
One of those two.
Probably junior going. I think you were only one.
I was supposed to graduate 2003, so.
Oh, but yeah. So you're only one grade ahead of me.
Yeah.
Because I graduated in 2004.
Yeah.
Okay. So Berto and I, we were in the infancy of our relationship, right?
Yeah. It was pretty young.
You and I, we were the friends that became friends in our groups last.
Yeah.
For the most part, we had each our respected groups of friends. And they just kind of merged somehow. And Berto and I were like the last ones to meet. But we're the ones that hit it off the most, in my opinion. So we would hang out at my house often. My neighborhood was the place to hang out. Because it
was close to the central.
It was like 4 or 5 of our friends lived in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it all worked out that way.
One of them lived there that didn't really live there.
Yeah. And then, but it was just the hub. That's not really as important. So I lived in a complex in a development. I don't know if people don't know what that is. I know it's weird if you don't. But anyway, it's just a gated community, an apartment community with other apartments that were all around. And, the cool thing about being young and growing up in a community like that, especially if you get lucky to have a lot of kids that are exactly the same age. I don't know why or how it worked out, but there was a lot of kids within our age range in there. I have a brother, and I have a sister that's 4 years younger than me. I also have a brother, but it's irrelevant to the story. I have 2 brothers, but that's also irrelevant to the story. But it's my sister that's important because of the fact that she had made a friend to this this girl around her age around this time, and she would have her friends over just like I would have my friends over. And Berto and I would probably be doing the same nerd shit we do today, which is probably
playing DDR,
or listening
to the Resident Evil soundtrack or some dumb shit,
or fucking building Gundams.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows what we're doing? So my sister had her friend over, and I think the mother came to check on my sister's friend. So this is where it all starts. I think we were in my room, and then we hear commotion outside. Of course, being nosy teenagers, we both step out. We go see what's going on. Now, we step out, and what do we see, Berto?
All right, so I strictly remember I was playing Dance Dance because I remember having to come out to find an excuse to look at what we heard.
Yeah.
Was a very attractive older woman with huge knockers, and that's my go-to.
I don't know if you know this. Don't Feed the Animals family. Berto likes big jugs.
The filthier, the better.
The sloppier, the better. Dirty pillows.
So, being the sweaty boys we were in that room playing Dance Dance, I believe Captain Jack was probably something we played over and over again. I went to go get water because it felt like a good enough excuse, and I needed it.
I'm
because
dehydrated.
I was quite dehydrated. So I went to go out there and scope things out, and I guess introduce myself if I had to.
So my mom was talking to this other mother. I think that she, my mom was doing the mom thing. The mom's checking up on her daughter that's coming to this house that she doesn't know. She's checking to see if everything's good, scoping it out. My mom's very welcoming. She welcomes her in, and then they sit down and shoot the shit like, older women would do, gabbing it up. And, we took a gander.
Yeah.
Took a gander at this lady.
So I went out there and got some water and introduced myself like I didn't know anybody was there. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm Berto.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like my 18-year-old self is just staring right at her eyes. Big, pale, veiny eyes. And, it just, that was it. That scoped it out. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to go back into playing in the room. That's it. And we went back.
We go back to the room, and what do you fucking think that we do?
And we were just like,
we
oh
go,
my God. We were just geeking out like a bunch of fucking dorks.
Because again, MILF age, that's more of the product of the time. I think that looking back, maybe if we grew up now, we probably wouldn't even think much of it. We were like, oh, look, it's just an old lady and her tits are kind of out. That's it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is that, I don't know how much time passes.
I'd say a good couple weeks.
Say a couple weeks. My mom becomes friendly with her, and then we go over their house often. And then we get the idea of what this mother is like.
Because our
original
intention, I guess, was to see if this girl, the older daughter.
Yeah. So we didn't know. So yes, what we ended up finding out was that the younger daughter that hung out with my sister has an older sister.
Closer to your age.
Because she had closer to my age. She's still younger than me by a year or two, but she was still closer to my age. So if you're 18, I'm probably 16 going on 17, and then she's like 14, 15, which isn't crazy because I'm like 16, 17. I'm still, under 18. But I was like, yeah, let's just whatever. And we hung out and it was normal. We found an excuse because Berto and I were scheming the whole time, but scheming in the way like any fucking, I don't know what kind of lives you guys live, but teenage life is not like what the movies are. It is in sense, but at least the movies at that time, you think oh man, it was definitely more like Superbad than any other movie that was out at the time. Superbad was not out at the time, but like an American Pie or a Girl Next Door or a fucking She's All That. I don't know. Any of those fucking type of movies that had the silly wow, crazy life. It's not. No, it wasn't like that. That's very exaggerated. So us idolizing movies like that is what puts us into the trouble that we soon will be putting ourselves in the rest of by the end of the story. So so it's all jokes, you know, like
Yeah,
you
we
just,
didn't think
I
anything
look
would
at
come of
Berto,
it.
Berto looks at me, and we fucking giggle, and you know, like we just move.
Yeah,
move,
and we
move.
wouldn't listen. This is the last thing on my mind, thinking that anything would ever happen. You know, so
No, yeah. So we were just there.
Our
We're just
original
over.
intent, aside from getting some glances at some Hooters, you know, for through a shirt,
Right.
was to see if the girl in question, the older daughter, was cool enough to, you know,
Hang out
with us, to have a little bit of diversity.
Yes,
in the
that's
group.
what it was. We were
Yeah.
trying to find it because, like, we hung out with a lot of people in that development. Berto, you didn't live in that development, but you
I came there
basically
just because it was-
visited as much as you can because all your friends are there, and yeah, we kind of like in the group that we were in. We kind of wanted to branch out and get a girl in the group for once, like just to see, you know, just to break up the fucking sausage fest. And we wanted to see if she was cool and blah 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 blah. And we found out that she was okay. You know, again, she was whatever.
She's
She
still
was
a little reserved.
she was a little reserved for our extreme nerdiness, and you know.
Yeah, and we were trying to like balance it out to where we weren't too geeking out over dumb shit.
Yeah,
to,
we're trying to play it cool, just to
Trying our
make
damn
it, just to
best.
try to make it more inclusive.
whatever we thought was cool.
So again, we hung out, and you know, it's fine. It's fine. I think what ends up happening is that I was unfortunately in the transition of moving out of that development, though. And so I'm moving out of the development, and I eventually do move, and I'm away from pretty much like a good distance away. I mean, I want to say at least 15, 20 miles away. I had to go to a new school.
No, you hadn't moved yet.
I was, when we get to the part where stuff happens, I moved.
But they had to walk you.
Who walked me?
All
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kids.
I was in the process of moving.
So you still, I guess, technically lived at the apartment.
I
They had
think-
to. They had to walk. They went to walk you out. I know we're jumping ahead here, but we're trying to like. I didn't think he would forget.
You know why I say I moved? Because either that or you didn't say anything. Because you didn't say anything until I moved.
Yeah, no, I didn't say anything until you moved. Yeah,
So I lived there and you didn't say shit.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm
'Cause
not
we're-
gonna try to ruin anything yet, but
Yeah.
let's move on.
All right, so let me
So
just-
yeah, so it doesn't matter. So there was a. I think we'll go from I move. Whatever. So I move. This is from my point of view. I lived there and I was moving and I moved, and I didn't see anybody. I didn't know shit. I just know that we were hanging out with these people, and then now not as much because I live far away and I don't have a car. So I couldn't. My visits were very few and far between. Well, that's not true. It just wasn't as frequent as like almost every day.
right. So you have to take the bus.
Yeah, I either had to
Bus
take a
says.
bus or get dropped off or get picked up. But either way. So finally, I meet up with you, and you tell me about a day when I was living there that happened,
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
and that's what it was. So because I moved, I just wanted to see, you know, because I moved, I figured like I did kind of like the older daughter a little bit, you know, but a little bit, and I was like, you know, maybe I
You've
can.
had some
But I'm
interest.
like, I'm moving,
Right.
You know, so what am I doing? I'm not. What's the point? I'm moving, so I'm like, I'm not gonna ask her out. Fuck it, who cares? I'm not gonna do it. So I'm not gonna mess with the older daughter. You know, and I was like, it's fun, and you know, to be over there and giggle over the Milf and blah 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 blah. But you know, I'm like, it's whatever. So anyway, I go visit Berto, and me and him are walking from. I think I went to visit the development to see whoever would live there, and then we went to your house
Yeah. We walked
from my
from
development
the
to
old
your
development
house.
to our house. 'Cause it was a straight line.
Yeah,
Straight.
it's easy. Yeah. So we talked, and he was talking to me.
Right, and we happened to run in to the older daughter walking with one of her friends back in the same opposite direction.
I forgot. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, I got something to tell you
Oh, so
About-
yeah,
about the older daughter."
yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, okay."
So
No,
before you
I
even
just said I
say
had
that,
something I just had something to tell you. I didn't say
yeah, you
anybody
said that
else.
to tell me. And keep in mind, I'm I know you know what? I'm over 16. because I lost, and this is not really relevant, but it's kind of relevant. I lost my virginity at the age of 16, which is decently young, but then really nothing after that. I mean, just something that I checked off my list. It wasn't that great, whatever. I think that was another thing too. When you're a teenager and you lose your V card, you're like, you know, you feel. Not that I felt better than you, Berto.
No.
But it was more like
when I was prior to pre-18, I was still in that
I'm gonna lose it to someone special kind of guy.
what a fucking bitch.
I was a stupid asshole.
But it didn't matter. It's not like something that hung over your shoulders. But either
Right.
way, it was important to have your friends kind of like catch up. You know, not that I fucking lost it at a really young age, or to anybody's sorry, or anything spectacular. It was just something that happened.
Everyone's first time isn't spectacular.
It's usually not, and if it is, whatever.
Most of the time is whatever disappointing.
So anyway, so I finally there's a relevancy to me talking about that because eventually you do because that was kind of what I was thinking. I ain't not gonna lie. Two thoughts went into my head when he says I gotta tell you something. Here's the thing.
Very important.
When you're a
that
teenager,
I didn't say right then and there. We had to wait till we got into the house.
that's the thing. You're a teenager and your fucking friend that you just fart around with fucking tells you he has something serious to talk to you about and he's waiting to get into the house. Two things go into my head. I'm like, he's either going to drop some personal news, which would be good. And I was kind of thinking like, oh, maybe he lost his virginity. The second immediate, more irrational thing that went into my head, he's going to fucking tell me he's gay and he's going to have his way with me when we get attacked. And there's nothing I can do because he's so much bigger than me. And that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, fuck. And I was nervous.
Lift your sack and spread your cheeks.
I was so nervous because I'm like, oh man, because I've had this happen to me before, and I'm like, if he does it to me, I'm doomed, because I can't say no.
I'm gonna be so mad.
I can't say no. So you eventually get me back to the house and the apartment.
Yeah. So I have you sit down.
I sit down
next to you or across to you, whatever. I don't remember.
Yeah, you sit down across me and you look at me.
Yeah. And I look at you. Excuse me. I look at you. And I go, okay, I gotta tell you something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had sex with the older daughter.
Yeah.
Mom.
At first, my face went through
the betrayal to what? The shock, the joy, this mixed feelings. You went through 7 stages of grief.
He fucked me up. He fucked me up so hard when he said that, because he's like, the daughter, and I'm like, oh no, like, because I was like, oh, we just saw her. I mean, she was looking kind of cute, you know, whatever. And I was like, oh, cool, like, but we just saw her, and I'm like, damn. I was happy for my boy, but I was a little bit like, damn, man, you know, I was like, kind of, but whatever. But then he went, mom. And I was like, oh, much better. What?
So, pause.
No, you fucked me up.
Oh, yeah.
You fucked me up because you know why, too? I forgot during that time period, I was hanging out with her, just me and her, the daughter. Because me and her went on like a date, quote unquote. I think we went to the movies or whatever. We just talked. But I didn't ask her out. Like, we were just being friends.
Right.
And so, like, I was thinking, shit, man, this motherfucker had time to, like, between my date and this, go with this girl. Like, that's fucked up. Like, but it was you had to say he did that so quick that that really negative, jealous feeling I had really went away really quickly.
It lasted a long time in his head, but it quickly, like fast forward as soon as
We're sorry. No. But then immediately anxiety kicked in for me because I was just like, no, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. People, 18-year-olds don't have sex with fucking 30-something-year-old women. Right?
Yeah.
30-something? Okay.
32.
32? Yeah, this just doesn't
Same
happen.
age as my mom. That's irrelevant, but whatever.
That's not... Yeah. But yeah. So he told me that blew my mind. It blew my mind.
Me, of all people.
I was so happy he lost his virginity, and then he lost his virginity to a MILF in fucking 2002. The fucking prime time to say that phrase that I
when the
lost my
milk market
virginity
was
to
high.
So now as shocked as we all are, knowing that Berto has lost his V card to an older woman, the tender age of 18.
He wanted to know
I would
how.
love to know the details of that fateful night that I was there.
Yeah.
And it took you like almost a month to tell me.
Right. And there's reasons behind that, so we'll get to that. now.
Okay. So
flashback.
boo, we're
I'd say
fucking
several weeks, few
Wayne's
weeks.
Brothers, Wayne's Brothers, yeah. Wayne's World, Wayne's World style.
So flashback of a couple weeks, few weeks, whatever.
Okay.
Some good amount of time between when you last lived there and when I told you that. Me and you went over to help the mother
Yes.
with some cleaning duties because we were both tall boys.
And we like to hang out there.
Yeah, and we're like, cool. And she said she was going to cook food. And we're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm a fatty. I love food.
Yeah. I'm not so fat, and I'm just saying that because at the time I was very
He
skinny.
was a skinny rail boy.
Yeah, I was a little skinny.
So,
boy.
they needed us. So the mother was a 4'11", half Irish, half Mexican, single mother
Did we say big knockers?
with huge tits. I don't know if we've told that before.
Okay.
So she needed help reaching high things like the ceiling fan, whatever, what have you, right? So we go over there with the intent of helping out because we're not assholes.
I was just fucking around. It was mostly Berto because
Yeah,
I knew Berto was,
I'm 6'4", so it was very.
and I'm
easy
just
for
there
me.
for moral support, and I was there to just.
Yeah, it's just like come over, let's go help out and this and that. You could talk to Michelle, the older daughter, and I'll just stare at the mom and help her out. So we help out. She asked me to go into her bedroom to clean her ceiling fan and stuff like that. So I got a gander of where she sleeps and where she does her business. I was just like, okay, all right. So if I were to, theoretically ever want to do it to her, I'd just be right here in her bedroom, blah, blah, blah. Stupid, idle thoughts from
The
a
teenager
18-year-old.
thoughts, man.
So,
Our imaginations are on point with those movies.
yeah, we're done. We
But
watch
reality
movies.
is not a thing.
Yeah, we're done. We clean. We watch movies. She makes food.
We hang out there pretty late, right?
We were there pretty late, yeah. So, again, you're still living there.
Yeah, so I had
You
to go
needed
home.
to go home because I guess it was time for your curfew or whatever you had at the time,
Yeah, I had to be home at a certain time.
So, the mother told the daughter and the other kids, which another younger daughter and a younger son, to go help you walk around and take you to the house.
I guess
To
I
your
needed
and
a
you're
fucking.
like-
I needed
and
a
you were just
caravan.
like, yeah, sure, okay. I was like, all right, whatever.
I needed a caravan to walk fucking.
In my head, I'm
100
like,
feet.
okay, that's weird. So I help her clean up.
So I know nothing now.
Yeah. So everyone's out of the picture. It's just me and the mother. I'm helping her clean up. And then I'm sitting on the couch. And then she sits on the couch adjacent to me. She's drinking a little red wine. So I guess, she's feeling a little loose lips sink ships kind of way. And isn't that a metaphor? So she tells me and sits in front of me. She's like, "Oh, so Berto, I hear that my daughter says that you think I'm hot." And like a deer in headlights, her headlights, I was like,
Baby.
and so at the time I had a goatee. So she grabs my goatee and starts playing with it. And she goes, "Well, why don't you come over later and make love to me?" And I'm in my head, I'm like, "This ain't fucking no. And outside, I'm like, yeah,
And
sure,
in his
okay.
penis, it goes, Yahoo! Wahoo!
So like, okay, I was like, "What time?" She's like, "Come back here around 2 or 1, something like that." Right? I'm like, "Okay, all right, cool, no problem, cool." And so 5 minutes later, the kids come back. I help her finish up, and then I head out because it's like 11:30, 12, I don't know. I go to one of our friends who lives in the neighborhood as well because you're at home, you're going to sleep, your parents are like, no one comes over at a certain time.
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, you did.
Yeah, so I went over to W. That's all I'm going to call him.
You can use our friends' names.
Okay.
I just don't want to use the family's names.
All right.
I just feel like
So I went over to Wesley's house.
yeah.
Our
We had a
apartment.
friend named Wesley. I'll bring
Mom
up him in the
was
future.
never home or whatever. I don't know the deal. This is not
Yeah.
important. So he was there. I know he was up because he's like us, all
He's a
fucking
night
weird
owl.
and stays up late and night owl. So I go over to hang out there, and I was like, I need to kill time because I don't want to walk all the way home and, get ready. Just want to be in the area just in case. And we had cell phones and stuff, but it wasn't like it is now where that's how we all communicate.
I definitely didn't have a cell phone.
I think I had a phone. I don't remember.
You may have, but I definitely did not. It wasn't normal.
Yeah,
to have
it wasn't
one.
a normal thing back then.
No.
Everybody didn't have phones.
It was expensive and
texting cost money. Every text would cost
Yeah.
money. So I'm sitting there, and
2002 people.
I tell Wesley
Yeah.
what the deal was because he wanted to know why why I wanted to hang out there other than just to hang out with him because I told him I need to stay in the area and whatever, and he's like, oh shit, that's awesome, man. And he's like, I was like, yeah, I just need to do something to kill time, whatever. I don't know
right
what-
because you didn't want to go home because
Right.
you had a duty. You had some duty to take care of.
Yeah.
So she told you a specific time.
Yeah, like around 1, something like that, 1 or 2, like when the kids would probably be passed out, asleep, whatever,
Holy shit, bro.
Um,
How much was your anxiety?
it was through the roof, probably.
I mean, you went to
Like at the time, I didn't know I had anxiety, but like now thinking about it, yeah, I probably had like a lot of anxiety, like just like nerves, like what the
Yeah,
fuck am I
'cause
gonna
you're
do?
like-
like,
'cause-
am I gonna get it up? Like,
you never had sex before.
yeah, this is my first time about to have intercourse,
And it's going to be with an older woman,
who's experienced. So.
and you wanted to get it done.
Right,
You've
wanted to do
already
it. Like,
been
this
let
is
down.
This was an opportunity of a lifetime in my 18-year-old mind.
Exactly. You've had girlfriends, you've had relationships, you've had almost moments that just never
Lots
came
of
to
almost
be.
moments, yeah.
And now you're finally there. You're at the fucking moments.
Yeah.
You're in
The
your
lights are on, the runway guy is there, and I just try to fucking steer my plane into the hangar. But I have to circle around the
gotta
lot
circle
for about an
around.
hour till there's a clearance. So I'm sitting there
as you're
piloting the plane
losing
with
fuel.
my co-pilot, Wesley,
Yeah.
for the last hour until it's about that time. Probably like 5-10 minutes till. And it's not a huge complex, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'll come back if it happens or not. He's like, okay, good luck. I'm like, thanks. So I leave. I go over to the apartment building, and I tap on the door lightly because thinking she's gonna be there waiting for me.
Go ahead.
It's like it's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. No, whatever. Just say 1.
It's around the time that
Yeah.
you came back. You're
After 1, I came by. I gave it to like 1:05 just to be safe.
yeah. You're
And
crazy.
I tap on the door, nothing. Give it 5 more minutes. Tap on the door a little bit louder, nothing. I go downstairs to see up to the the bedroom light, because I know where the position of the room is.
See, this is where my true anxiety would go through the roof, but it would almost like if I was in your shoes, I mean, I would probably quit right
Yeah,
there.
I was about to, but I was like, okay, let me go see if she's awake. Maybe she fell asleep. People
Right.
fall asleep.
Right.
So I see her bedroom light on, assuming she's still awake.
Uh-huh.
I take some pebbles, I throw it up at the window. A couple rat-a-tat-tats.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Damn.
I was like, fuck. So what do I do now? Like, I'm just sitting there pacing, thinking, do I go? I say, fuck it. Or do I try the door one more time?
Right.
So I get up, and I was like, fuck it. Like, I get up the courage. I go upstairs to the door, knocking it like 2 more times, very lightly.
Okay.
Nothing. I was like, okay. I can go now, or I can try one more thing. Okay. So I grab the door handle, and I squeeze the lock, and I, like, just the door handle. It's not a knob, but whatever.
Yeah.
And I pull the door, and it's all unlocked.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, so I open it slowly to see if anyone's awake in the living room, because I saw a TV on.
Uh-huh.
And so I look, and they're all the kids are passed out on the couch. So
That's too close.
the mother's bedroom door is open, but I can't really see what she's doing. So I go in, I fucking go. I'm like, and I'm gonna fucking get chased out of here, or I'm gonna.
Because you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, I was like, what else do I got to lose?
Fuck it.
Yeah.
She said it. She said, come back at 1 to make love.
Right. And so I go into her room, and she's asleep on the bed, like fully clothed, just passed out from food and wine.
Right.
Not tucked in or anything. So I just kind of like go over and shake her awake and be like, hey, are you awake? Whatever. Like, are you okay? And she wakes up and she's like, oh, you made it. I didn't think you were, she's like, it was like so bold of you to come in like that. I was like, yeah, I didn't want to pass this up. So she wakes up.
You truly did make it like this is the one and only chance, right?
Yeah.
What if you like? Okay, in all honesty, what did you ever wonder? Like, what if you didn't? Like, do you think you would have? Did you feel like you really don't have another opportunity then?
I mean, I don't know how many times this woman is going to get sauced up and let her inhibitions down.
True.
It could have been like a one. At the time, I thought
Yeah,
it was a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because
she was feeling lonely. She had a couple of drinks.
You
She
didn't
knew
know
that
if
I
cooler
had her
heads would
attractive. I was of legal age.
Right. You didn't know if cooler heads would have prevailed, then your opportunity would have been not available another
Right.
day. That's true. Okay, I got you.
So to state it out there, she wasn't drunk. Like, she wasn't drunk. She was an older woman who's had a few drinks.
Right.
She wasn't drunk. She wasn't blitzed. So everything was consensual, whatever.
Right.
Keep that in mind.
Right.
So she said, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go put the kids in bed. Like, take them off the couch and put them in bed.
Okay.
And they all slept on one bed. No, they had two rooms. They had the two little ones slept on one bed.
Yeah.
Whatever. So they had two other rooms. They all went to bed.
3 kids.
She puts them to bed. She comes back. And she locks the door. And you're like, and that's the start. That's the gun that went off. So that's the please prepare for landing. And so she locks the door. We start making out, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, woohoo!
Yeah. Really excited.
And she asked me, had I done it before? And I fucking straight up lied, ladies and gentlemen.
Why?
Because what else?
You thought that answer would have
deterred her.
her more. So you were just like, this is for you.
Yeah, because there was a lot
is
of
100%
people
for
that I
you.
knew that didn't want to take someone's virginity when
Right.
they were an experienced person.
Right.
For
And you thought for
one
definitely an
reason or
older.
another. So I didn't want it to be a repellent,
Right.
from getting at some. Like, because I'm thinking, like, this is going to be a one-time thing, and it's never going to matter anything.
Right. Right.
So I lied and I said, yeah. So, like the more experienced person, as it got more hot and heavy, she took control. Right? Yada, yada, yada. Fast forward, we finished fooling around at like 7 a.m.
Wow. 7. Wait. So,
It wasn't like 1.
So let's just say 2 o'clock. You finally made your way in there.
It's like 2 o'clock. It's like the clock starts. So
yeah.
more or less 4.5, 5 hours of
Damn, son.
off and on fooling around and this and that. First time went off with a bang. Haha, puns.
I want to ask specific details, but I don't know if
It's nothing too exciting. Nothing I can really remember.
Was there a lot of foreplay involved?
Was there a lot of foreplay involved? Yes and no.
I mean, shit, that's a long time. 4
Her
hours.
on me more than me on her. Not because I didn't want to.
No,
just
yeah.
because
But I'm saying though, like
the only
you guys
foolish-
just didn't go at it.
Right.
You guys, you got
Right,
eased into it, right?
Right. Yeah. We literally made love. It wasn't fucking.
Yeah.
It was literally
sensual.
like making. It was a very sensual thing.
Yeah, it's so special for you.
So. What was I getting at? Sorry.
Sorry,
It's okay.
I want to know juicy details. I want to keep this podcast going.
So the only aside from the things I've already talked about, the one foolish thing that I didn't do
that night.
Okay. Was wear a condom. And that, in retrospect, was a stupid thing to do for many reasons. Pregnancy, STDs, what have you. But my dumbass brain, like many dumbass kids who have sex for the first time, don't always think rationally. Especially when it's more of like the stakes are higher in a sense.
Yeah.
And passion takes over and whatever. So
I immediately think
always wrap your Jimmy, kids. If you don't even if you have a clit, fucking slap a condom in there. I don't know what it's gonna do. Maybe it works.
I immediately think of that scene from Grandma's Boy, where Nick Swarson's character has sex with the Partridge Family mother. If anybody's never seen that movie, you got to watch it. But the scene is this dude loses his virginity to an older lady, but a way older lady. She's like a grandmother.
She's a G-MILF.
Yeah, she's a G-MILF. And he goes, I just want to let you know that you were my first. And she lays there and she goes, oh, that's cute. You're like my 4,000 something. And then he rolls over and he goes, oh, okay. He rolls over and he goes, should have wore a condom. Just think of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you didn't feel that way. I'm sure it was just in the moment. It was sensual.
Right. There was a sense of trust.
You felt safe. I mean,
so whatever. And
hey, by the way, again, not to be gross, but being gross. You went.
Yeah.
So you had sex to completion.
Oh yeah.
That's a hang up for some dudes. Some people can't. Maybe not your first time though. I think your first time, but I'm just saying sometimes people don't. Too nervous. So
I was worried about that, but it did help me last longer.
Yeah.
The nerves.
Yeah.
But, there was a lot of jizz flying.
That's good. That's awesome. So how'd you slip out, Ninja?
So
7 a.m. That's cutting it close there, buddy.
It's a Saturday.
Uh-oh. Saturday morning cartoons were a thing. Yeah. There's a reason to get up as a kid.
Right. So she, we were getting our shit together.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh,
sun's up.
The kids are probably gonna be up soon." So she.
So put your dick away.
She's like, So get your clothes on. Get dressed, and I wouldn't go. Distract the kids in their room while you sneak out, right?
Yeah, smart.
So that's what she did. I snuck out, went downstairs, left, kind of not skipping or running, but just fastly moving out of the perspective of the area, so no one would see me in case someone happened to look out the window or something like that. So I leave. I go over to Wesley's. He's still awake. Okay, and I just tap on the window on his sliding glass door. He turns over and he's like, and he looks at me like, "How'd he went?" With his mouth. And I just put my thumbs up, and he's like, "Hey, whatever." I was like, "All right, I'll see you later." And he's like, "All right, cool." And then I just go home and
fucking John Travolta your ass home.
Yeah, I just fucking Saturday Night Fevered my way all the way back to the house. And I was thinking, I can't believe that happened. Holy shit!
Wow.
And
so how many motherfucking people did you tell before it got to your fucking good friend? Go ahead, say it.
Quite a lot. I would say all of high school.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
How many times did you guys do it before you told me?
Oh.
Because I'm assuming that wasn't the first meetup.
No.
We're all meetups in the same formula.
After that, I think we started before I left, we were more of on we kind of pseudo established the whole making it a casual thing.
Yeah.
Once in a while we'll hook up.
So she would tell you or
she would I would notify her. I'm like, "Hey, I'm going over here. I'll be at so and so's house, or I'm going to be at the gym close by if you want to meet up."
Right.
School night or not, God be damned, I didn't have a curfew. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So I was very privileged in that sense.
Yeah. Go out and about as you please. You're right. You're an 18-year-old man.
And so yeah, I told a lot of people because I didn't know when's the next time I was
going
to see you.
Told all school. I bet you she said don't tell nobody.
Yeah. So I didn't I think a week or two later you moved.
Yeah, I definitely moved. So you didn't tell me during that.
No, I didn't tell a lot of people.
We didn't see each other though, right?
No, we didn't.
I think that
Because you were busy moving.
I think there was a very good chance that I saw you very briefly, because I feel like you would have told me.
Yeah.
There was no reason to
I think
hide
I was
it.
waiting because, like,
You
I
told
know.
your whole graduating class.
Right. Well, because, like, the daughter didn't go to that. She went to the school, but not that
it was
location.
one of those schools that had to be.
It
They
has
were
an
so overly
annex.
popular. They had
So,
younger kids went to like an annex of the same
yeah.
school.
So the older daughter was going to the annex, which was miles away from the main campus. So
It wasn't gonna get back to
the
her.
chances of her finding out was never gonna happen.
How popular did you get? Because again, this is 2002, where being a MILF hunter is a very special opportunity. It's like it's not a real thing that happens.
There I am, 18-year-old me. Now picture in your mind, I'm 260 pounds, 6'4". I look like
sexy.
season 3 spinner from Degrassi: The Next Generation. Okay, peak look clothing wise. Just give me some fucking parachute pants. That's me.
Spinner Degrassi.
All right, haircut, everything.
There we go.
And so that, I was pretty liked in school. I wasn't popular by any means, but I had a good group of friends, very diverse groups. And I told all the boys, that's what you do when you're a teenager in school and you lose your virginity, and especially to an older woman.
Except your best boy. That's okay.
You weren't in the school anymore.
I know, I wasn't even in school. I had to switch schools, so I couldn't even enjoy that.
So I had to wait for the opportunity to tell you, and I was like, okay, I had to wait until I saw you. So of course, Wesley knew, Quinn knew, I guess Ed knew.
Yeah, all our
by
friends
association. Everybody in high school, Chris, everybody knew, and they're all like, good job. Like no one was really like ill,
No,
like that.
it was amazing.
Right.
It's amazing. Your 18-year-old friend.
I wasn't a ladies' man by any word of the definition.
And it's not that you weren't handsome. It's just that I remember one of our bonding things was that I may have lost my virginity, but it wasn't that great. We were horn dogs. We were teenagers that wanted sex more than anything in the world.
Thriving strongly.
Yeah, we just and to know that our my boy got it. That was great when you finally told me. But here's the thing. So can we fast forward now to?
Yeah. So all of the school knows, pretty much everybody. Except
and then finally, he finally sees me and he gets to tell me. I was probably the last to know.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, of anybody who you wanted to know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you tell me, and then so let's move back to that part of the story. He tells me my fucking world is shattered. I don't know what's real anymore. I thought, this is it. That next thing I know, zombies are going to be walking the earth. And everything I see on TV
And then the next thing you said is like, man, I thought you were going to tell me you were gay.
Yeah. At least I admitted my fears. But yes. So anyway, we keep on going. And now, again, it wasn't even, so he's telling me and I'm more excited, but it's not that I had my doubts. It's just, it's funny because I was just like, man, that's crazy. Like, he told me the story just like he just told all you guys. And it was still wild. I'm just like, that's kind of hard to believe. Like, it's just hard to believe. Like, why would that happen? Like, she's an older woman with fucking 3 kids and she wanted to fuck you and she's been fucking you and it's crazy. And then you go on and get into specifics on how you guys hang out when you're like not fucking, but you're hanging out.
Yeah.
And you go and you say something that fucked me up. I was like, oh, he is not 100,000% not lying. You start talking about all the cartoons that you got her into.
Oh yeah.
And you tell me you're like, yeah, I got, we hang out too, and I got her watching Dragon Ball, blah, blah, blah. As soon as he said that fucked me up because literally a week ago, I'm hanging out with the daughter. And me and the daughter, the older daughter that I wanted to be with, or still didn't really want to be with, but it was hanging out with at the time and contemplating to be with. And she's like, my mom's been acting weird lately. And I'm like, yeah, mom's acting weird. Because I didn't know anything too. This is a flashback. So I still didn't know anything yet. And she's like, yeah, she's like watching cartoons. I think at one time I walked in and she was watching Dragon Ball. And I'm like, that's weird. like, like in my head, I'm just like, that's just a weird thing to say to me. Like, you know, okay. That's a weird piece of information. So as soon as fucking Berto said that, my head went, it was blown even more. And I'm like, he's really not lying. And it's real. And where are we? We don't live in this world. He fucked me up. That was it. That's where anxiety started for me. That was my growth. But seriously, yeah, it was amazing. I thought it was hilarious. And of course, it gave me the confidence to literally ask fucking the daughter out like that week. I was like,
because we were just like, how fucking cool would it be if I'm banging the mom and you're going out with
dating the daughter while he dates the mother, and we're like best friends, and we get to do that at the same time, and we get to tell people that it happened, and I have no regrets on that because it was hilarious.
It was like a movie.
That was like a movie, and we just enjoyed it. Things that would happen that were hilarious is when I would be over the house hanging out to see my girlfriend at the time, and Berto will be there, and the mom will be there, and the mom will be like, Berto, I need you to come to the bedroom to get something for me. Berto would go into the bedroom with her. Like a minute or two would pass. She'd come out. Berto would look me in the eye.
The little twinkle in my eye.
And he would then look down at his dick and zip his pants up. And I had to hold my shit together. Because I'm just like... Because the daughter doesn't know. Obviously, right. The daughter doesn't know. So I'm just like talking to the daughter. I'm like, nothing. She's like, what's so funny? Nothing.
Inside joke.
And he would nonstop fuck with me. And we would just kind of like nonstop laugh. All right. I think that was pretty much as high as it went, though. Like little jokes here and there, and you got your dick wet.
There was one time where we snuck into her house in the middle of the night to see the daughter, so you can hang out with her. So we sneak in through the window. Okay, so this is like we walk to 7-Eleven. We get some Crazy Larry's and some gummies.
Oh, motherfucking Crazy Larry's! Really, side note, Crazy Larry's was a crazy energy drink, right?
Yeah, because energy drinks were brand new at the time.
It was. So energy drinks were like, yeah, they were just popping up, but this was like when they weren't really regulated, and they probably fucked us up in the long run. This one had a skull on it, holding dynamite,
wearing a zoot suit,
and it said Crazy Larry's, and that shit was black.
And the blue one would turn your shit blue, like if you drank too much of it. Ask Wesley. So we go over there. We get our.
So we're hopped up on Crazy Larry's
and gummy wares
and gummy bears,
whatever.
Yeah.
We're walking back. We're like, hey, let's go see if Michelle's awake. You give her a rat-a-tat-tap on the window.
Yeah.
She opens the window. We sneak in. We're talking this and that. You know, you're just doing friendly conversations. Nothing big. Nothing. You know, we're just joking around.
Yeah.
It's been like a half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. We leave. You go to someone else's house.
Yeah,
to spend the
because
night.
I'm in town, so
you're
I'm hanging out with people
or whatever. So
I'm doing my rounds.
You go to someone else's house for the night to spend the weekend with, or whatever. Like just while you're there, you're going to sleep.
Right.
I go right back to that house and sneak into the mom's bedroom. And then because the kids are asleep at this point and the mom's awake.
Did it happen at night?
It happened again that night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that same night. Like I literally snuck in so you can hang out with the daughter, and snuck back out, and then snuck back.
Yeah, and I didn't do it. Door. Just full disclosure, I really didn't do anything with the daughter.
No, and
we were just lame.
And so I went back in, and it was another fuck fest, because we were just having it. So we had set an agreement. It was just going to be very casual, just friends with benefits type of thing,
right?
Whatever, because. Yeah, I guess at the time I wasn't looking for a relationship, and like, I'm not gonna date an older woman. That's ridiculous,
right?
She's like, what is she gonna do with me? Like hang for date wise.
Yeah.
Right? So that was one of those nights, and then whatever. So that was pretty much like one of the last craziest like juggling around kind of bullshit. And then eventually we catch feelings for each other, like it always happens. But we're keeping it a secret because it's just kind of weird that, you know, the mom is dating her daughter's friend.
Yeah.
And I'm younger and she's older, and that's still a kind of a taboo thing in
No,
society,
it's mad fucking taboo.
You know?
It's fucked
Even though
up. So, you know, if
even
we're...
though I'm of legal age and she's a legal adult as well, but it's just, you know, everyone's like, oh,
right,
rocking the cradle there, you know?
So for the most part, that concludes the high part of the whole Milf saga. And we will go into I think it's a good time to go into the inevitable lows, which probably came in how many months into when you first started having your FOB with her? Maybe not very long.
You talking about the
You're friends with your... I'm saying...
Friends with benefits?
You're friends with benefits when we're at the high note, but now the moment it became low, the moment you got found out.
Ah, okay. That's what I thought.
How many months in?
2? Maybe?
Not very long.
Not very long. You know.
So remember, there's a great 2 months. He's all his fucking people at school know him as Milf Hunter.
3 or 4 days a week, I would go over and
I'm happy for him. He's fucking. Everything's great, and I'm having fun because I'm with the daughter, and I still got my end of the joke.
So, side note, in case anyone was curious, she was fixed. Like, she had her tubes tied like years before.
So let the fucking commence. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. So
moving on from that. The night was just like any other night, but it had a very different ending.
So it was another Friday to Saturday transition.
Right.
Come over, fool around, stayed up really late. I passed out on her bed. In between the time that we stopped fucking and I went to sleep, she got up to check the kids.
Yeah.
To make sure they're okay, like any other mother does.
Right.
On her way back to go to sleep, she forgets to lock the fucking door to her bedroom. So, come 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there, half a leg out, my bare ass out of the sheets, you know, face down, because that's how I sleep.
Yeah.
Face down, ass up. That's the way I like to sleep. And she's passed out on the other side, and the door opens slowly because the sun woke up because it's Saturday morning, and you know how kids are, like, oh, I'm going to get up early for cartoons.
Yep.
You know.
There was a reason to get up back then.
And so he gets up, he opens the door, and he just sees my bare ass. Like, the sun is out, and so is the moon. And he yells out, "Oh my God, Berto's naked in Mom's bed." And I fucking rose to the clatter to see what was the matter. So goddamn fast. And covered my dick up. And the mom fucking swooshed to the front door, held it shut. Because the daughter and everyone else in the house woke the fuck up and rushed to the bedroom door. And like the daughter's pushing on the door and asking to fucking explain ourselves, crying. Everyone's fucking crying. I'm sitting there like awkward as fuck. I'm like, well, it was fun. And it was just fucking chaos. Eventually, everyone calmed the fuck down. And we kind of just explained what we were doing and that we were kind of dating. So, like, at least it didn't seem like we were degenerates.
Now, I don't know how much longer before I knew about him getting got. I feel like I knew that you got before. I think you're the one who told me.
Yeah, I told you.
You told me that you got got. I don't know if you called me or you gave me a heads up, which was great, which was much needed because I was going to get side, because it's inevitable that questions are circulating. So I finally hang out with my ex-girlfriend at the time, the oldest daughter. And no, at the time we were still going out, but she had questions for me. She put it this way. She started smoking cigarettes because of this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's like, I need a cigarette so bad. I'm like, I didn't even know you smoke. She's like, I've been so stressed. I'm just like, oh boy, why? Why are you so stressed?
Gee willikers, why?
She's like, did you know? I'm like, do I know that you smoke? No, I don't know that you smoke. Playing, the super retarded role. No. And she's like, you know. And I'm like, no what? She's like, did you know that Berto was sleeping with my mom? I'm like,
And the award goes to...
that's crazy. Oh my God, I didn't know. Now, I don't know if I am that good of an actor, if she's that dumb.
Or naive.
Or naive, probably better word. Or she just didn't have time to find out the truth of if whether or not, or had the energy to find out if my... But for the most part, I felt like she bought it. I was just like, wow, that's so crazy. That's wild. Wow, that's so wrong. Can't believe they did that. How long have they been doing that for? Wow. That explains Dragon Ball. I mean, I don't know.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense. Oh, and the low gets lower. So you'd figure he got, and the goose is loose, and everybody would probably go back to their respective lives after that. It didn't happen that way, did it, Berto?
No. So
what was the decision after everybody found out? It would the smart decision would be
to end it there. But
you guys
us being stupid,
you doubled down.
We doubled down, and we were like, okay, we're just gonna, we talked to the kids, and we're like, if you guys are okay with it, we would like to still continue seeing each other, because we weren't total assholes. We were taking them into consideration. It was her children. They are her life, and they claimed they were cool with it. So okay, that was that.
So
Berto,
I don't mean to cut you off. Just to the sake of timing and stuff like that, and time. We want to end it on the lows.
Okay.
So I need you to say 2. Now, just a spoiler alert. How long did your on and off again relationship with this MILF last?
On and off.
Drum roll,
years.
please. How many years?
10. Not 11.
18?
Not 8. Not 9. Yes. 10.
So till you were 28, on and off again relationship with this woman.
Yep, more or less, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I will say, everybody thought it was awesome at first, because it was awesome when it's a secret and no one knew. But the minute you guys were like legit, like boyfriend, girlfriend in a relationship,
when it was out in the open,
it was not fun for anybody. No. Everybody was grossed out by it, or not grossed out, but I wasn't grossed out. Obviously, her side of the family was grossed out. Our friends and stuff were just like, God, we wish Berto was like not with this older lady now. Like fucking her, fine. Being with her, legitimate, right. Dealing with those fucking kids and everything like that.
Fast forward, I move in because I'm 18. I want to
become a fucking dad at that point.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get out of my mom's house. I want to, be more independent. And by independent, I mean sitting there at fucking 7 o'clock in the morning eating cereal with a newborn kitten and watching Power Rangers as an 18-year-old.
But so like I was saying, so this is the inevitable low part of the story that we will end it with. For time, I feel like we're going to make this into a 2-parter, and for reasons I will tell you why, but we'll end the Berto saga of this today. Just give me 2 of your most lowest of lows of this relationship. 2 stories. I'm sure you have them. I didn't even prep you for this, but
right.
2 off the top of your head of which you believe is like the lowest lows when you were with her.
So it won't be 2 stories because one of them's not that dramatic. I mean, one of them was just more of like the mom seeing me for the first time. I wouldn't say it was a low in like the lowest low points, but it was the start of a low
Yeah.
thing.
So it's okay. So this
Yeah.
is the beginning. So what happened?
The biggest controversial thing that we ever ran into and hiccup. She had a very weird relationship with her mother. The older mom, the mother, had a relationship
Milf
with her own mother.
Had problems with her mother.
Very independent, successful woman, whatever, this and that.
Right.
Very judgmental woman.
Yep.
You know. And when she first saw me at the son's birthday party, his kid's 8 years old, it's a fucking bowling alley, and I was like, I just exploded out of a Hot Topic with fucking, long ramen noodle colored fucking hair, right? With a wallet chain and all
big
that bullshit.
wallet chain, parachute pin. Definitely don't look your age, Berto.
No, definitely not.
Don't look your age at all.
So when she first
like a
laid
grown
eyes
man.
on me, she fucking bawled into tears, and like I was in there.
She probably is like, okay, my daughter's new boyfriend will be there. It won't be that bad. It won't be that bad.
Right.
It won't be that bad. And she probably was like, I'm gonna go see him. She probably laid eyes on you. You fucking Hot Topic advertisement.
And then she just fucking hears Pop Roach blaring in the fucking head. Cut me in two pieces. Just breaks down. It's very uncomfortable for everyone. Like, everyone has to put on a face. I'm 18, so I don't give a fuck. I was like, whatever, stupid. Like,
Yeah. Typical teenage vibes.
I didn't think knowing ahead that this kind of judgment shit would fucking, not only for me, but for, towards her own daughter and shit, and from her own, getting it from her own brother as well, for everything that she ever does. So all that kind of stuff affects her, leading into, fast forward 10 years later, let's say 9.5 years later, I'm living in South Carolina.
So this is the worst. This is the lowest.
Yeah, this is the
lowest
point.
of
This
low.
was the
Okay.
final straw, this and that.
Okay,
right?
let's do this. Bring me along.
Fast forward, I'm living in South Carolina in a small town called Rock Hill.
Okay.
I've been living there for the past almost going on 2 years. The last few months was by myself with the mother. I had invited her up to get a new start. This is a on and off relationship.
Yeah.
We're on again. That's like, hey, why don't you come up?
You've had was when you were off? Was it more than a year?
Yeah.
So you did have a couple, you were a couple spots where.
Yeah, like we weren't dating, but we maybe met up to fuck, once in a while,
But not
so sexual attraction.
So
it was
you
strong.
guys were never really away for more than a year.
Right.
Okay.
When it came to a sexual attraction, it was very strong. But I was always
She was your first.
Yeah, but I was always very pensive when it came to like getting back into a relationship. Mm-hmm. So, fast forward, she's living with me. We're living in Rock Hill. She's not working, and I forget why. But that's not important because we somewhat had money. So I was working at Starbucks and this and that. So I didn't have a car because of other reasons. I'll get into another story. I didn't have a license. I didn't have a car, etc. So I have to
Trying to survive out in
by myself,
North Carolina.
So I would have to take a taxi to and from work a lot of times, or get a ride from it because there was no public transportation. Uber didn't exist.
Yeah.
None of that shit existed.
This is still
and where I
this is-
lived and where my work was.
This is
was
2012,
15 miles.
right?
Huh?
This is 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2012.
2010, 2011.
Okay, there you go.
Was a small town, big rocky mountainous hills, whatever. It was
Yeah.
fucking pain in the ass to go
Yeah.
anywhere if you didn't have a car. So I get picked up by the taxi from my work. I text the mom, say, "Hey, where you at? I'm on the taxi. I can swing by and pick you up as a pit stop."
Uh-huh.
I knew she was at the Target close to the house because she said she was going there.
Okay.
I was like, "Are you ready?" This and that. Blah 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 blah. I was like, "Oh, can you just?" I tell the guy, "I'm like, can you just?" Because he knows me by now. He's fucking seen me for months, off and on, off again. Because it's that small of a taxi company.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Yeah, no problem." Pulls up to the Target, and for some reason, the bell went off in my head, and I was like, "She's not answering her phone." There's a cop car right out here in front with its like normal lights on, and I was like, "This bitch fucked up."
Oh no.
As soon as I walk in to the building, one of the Target security people goes, "Are you looking for a smaller woman?" About this, and describes her. I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, She just got arrested for shoplifting. And I was like, and I asked her, like, what did she take? And she's like, a few small bottles of wine.
So,
like,
yeah. This is going to basically explain a
all right,
lot, too.
Cool. So, basically, to sum it up, she had a history of alcoholism. And
Before and during your relationship.
Before
this whole
certain
relationship.
Events, after certain events, it escalated even more. So, it's, it was a problem, and I thought she had gotten over it. But I wasn't going to take it anymore. Because, like, there would be, just to sum it up, there would be periods when we lived together, whether it be the apartment or the other house that we lived into, I would find empty wine bottles.
Wow.
Everywhere.
Wow.
In plants, in couch cushions, behind the consoles, like anywhere she could hide the evidence, I would find it.
Yeah.
Either accidentally or searching for it.
The telltale signs of someone who has a problem.
Right. So that point was the last straw. I had brought her all the way up here. And there was all these signs, but I was trying to choose to ignore it. But then she got caught and she got arrested and she went to jail. She got in contact with me later that day or night,
right,
to ask to be bailed out,
right?
Because she couldn't ask her mom or anybody else because they're all the way in South Florida.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you were gonna stay there for the duration of whatever time they fucking sent you to, and once you were free, you're gonna come get your shit. And you're going to get the fuck out of my apartment.
Wow.
Like, I'm done with this bullshit.
This is years and years of dealing with someone with a problem.
Right. And I was trying to make things change and move forward and move on. And like,
so much.
And I was repeating the same mistakes. So I was done with that.
Yeah.
And so that was the low point to where I was like, I'm done with this. So eventually, I think 2 weeks go by. And she's in whatever facility, that she's in. And, that was it. She came by. I was like, get a taxi cab, go over here, come get your shit, tell your fucking mom to come pick you up or whatever the fuck, and get out. I was like, get your essentials, I will mail you the rest. Right?
Yeah.
And, during those weeks, I packed up all her stuff for her because if I didn't, she was going to delay and take her time and try to draw things out. So... I wasn't wasting no time. That was the low point for me and our relationship.
No, that's really low.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so, as great as it was, and it unfortunately ended on, I mean, it had to. I mean, there was so many, like, if you were fucking anybody, an outsider looking in, a lot of people probably thought that this was just a bad idea for the long time, for a very long time. But when you're in those things, man, you just don't, you don't really know. And I mean, shit, man, you could see it from afar. Like, I saw it. I saw that there was definitely things that weren't good about it. But
yeah, there's a lot of highs in the relationship, but there is so many lows.
Yeah.
It didn't balance out.
It just did not. Yeah. It's just being young doesn't help.
Right. Being young,
your decision-making skills.
I'm like, I wasn't paying much attention to it, or I wasn't choosing to ignore it, or whatever, I don't know how adult.
I saw it as I mean, like I said, after that 2 months,
my family, my mom, my dad, my stepdad, they weren't alcoholics, so I never really knew the signs.
Yeah, you didn't know. You didn't know what you're supposed to do.
So I didn't know the signs. I didn't know what to do. I just thought she just liked to drink a lot. Sometimes she would do stupid shit,
right?
And so as much as I didn't enjoy all those bad times, going on 10 years of my life that, and at the end, made me think and feel like I wasted 10 years of my life with this person that I could have been spending it with other people or other places or whatever. Like that was part of me going to South Carolina, was to start new.
Right.
Start at a place I had no idea of.
And you brought her to that. You brought her to that world that you were trying to, and she fucked it up.
Right. And she was the cause of a lot of stress, and I'm sure I could have been the cause of a lot of her stress too as I was younger and stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's
But, the drinking was no excuse. And so, looking back on it now that I'm going on 36, Jesus Christ, a part of me regrets everything that happened in the sense like I could have prevented it by not doing this or doing that, but I can't change time.
No, you
change
can't.
History.
You learn.
The best thing I can do is learn from it.
Yeah.
And now I've grown so much more from those bad experiences.
Yeah.
That I probably never would have, had any kind of experience in that field, or
Right.
I don't know what my maturity level would be now if those things didn't happen.
Right.
So coming out of that relationship, coming out of all that, I knew what I wanted in life. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what the kind of woman I wanted to be with, this and that.
Yeah, you definitely knew.
And fast forward now, I'm
yeah.
with the woman I've always wanted to be with.
Happy ending, man. It's beautiful. It's
'Cause,
definitely
when we
different.
first met, we were both in a position where we didn't want to waste each other's time, and we wouldn't want to fucking dance around the bush.
Listen, and I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
And I know, and I look, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm rooming with you guys for now, but I love you guys. You guys are awesome, and it's just that, and I love you guys together, and I think you guys are great, and it makes me so happy to see you with somebody who you deserve to be with. After and it's not even just because of you were with in those situations for so long. It's just nice to see somebody finally with somebody that they love and they're happy with, and they're like their best friend.
Yeah.
And it really is nice, and I have such a good time hanging out with both of you, and it's fun and it's great, and it's just good vibes all around, and it's beautiful. If only I could have just taken everything that you went through at for those years, and when I was 18 and I didn't date an older lady with children of her own. And that's where I'll end it, folks. This is a two-parter series where it's not just about Berto going out with an older lady and me going out with a daughter. It's also about how my dumbass at the age of 18 did the same fucking thing that Berto did in my own way. And you guys will definitely hear that on the next episode of Don't Feed the Animals podcast. Berto, do you have anything else to add to your saga of the story?
No, just learn from your mistakes, don't repeat them, and cherish the experiences, whether they're good or bad, as a learning experience.
That's right.
You can't get better at something if you don't fail.
It's true. It's very true.
And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments.
Yep, leave them in the comments. Send me an email. All this stuff will be in the description down below.
Send a DM on Instagram or something.
Just tell me what you think about this story, because we do have lots of stories, and I am going to continue with part 2 of the Milf Saga. And I'm your host, James. And I'm with my best friend, Berto. And go ahead. Go ahead.
I got another. I was going to say something, but I can't think of it. Good night, and enjoy the laughs. My pain is your enjoyment, is your entertainment.
Yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this story time, and I want to do more.
I enjoy telling it every single time.
Me too.
That I have to tell it.
Love it.
Every time I tell this story, it's one of those wow stories, and that's how I won over a lot of my old coworkers from my previous job.
Because it's pretty. It's
not
that fantastic. It's not like climbed Everest, but
it's one of those things that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's weird,
especially back then.
Yeah. But remember to talk to a friend if you need one. Hands. Okay. Call up a friend. I'm talking out, baby. Peace.
Take a look at the feelings, gotta analyze a little bit of feeling, gotta do this, that, man, gotta who that shit, gotta go ahead, baby, call that shit, baby. Call that motherfucking therapist, baby. If you don't got a therapist, call your mom. If you don't got a mom, call your motherfucking friend. If you don't got a friend, talk to the person under the bridge and they'll tell you about your problem. Gotta go talk that, gotta 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 go ahead, baby, go ahead and talk that, gotta go ahead and baby, gotta talk that, gotta go ahead and get your feelings out, baby, go ahead and talk that, gotta talk that. baby boy, I wanna help you. Talk to me, baby boy, I wanna help you. Talk to me, 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 talk to me. Go ahead and talk down. 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 Talk to gotta talk to gotta talk to talk, I gotta talk to. If you're not feeling well, baby, gotta talk it out. Gotta get it from the inside to the outside. Gotta externalize that shit. Gotta take it from the bottom of your stomach to the top of the lift and to get that out. Now you feel a little better. Now you do that shit. Gotta exercise. Gotta exercise. Gotta exercise. Gotta exercise your mind.